So let's make another application where we actually modify the properties of a label control. Um, and we did this wage due dot text equals, this and that. So let's make a new project and let's use kind of a similar approach, right? So let's make a new project in Visual Basic. On the left, just select it, and then Windows Forms app in the middle. And then let's call it state state abbreviations. Well, what did we call it for? Yeah, state abbreviations is fine. Anything is fine. State abbreviations, and then I'll just click OK. Here's our empty, and let's just drag on three buttons in the middle. So let's just do three states. So if we go View and then Toolbox, then we can drag on to three buttons. I'll make the form a little longer. That, okay. And then let's add a label control down below it. So here's the trick. With the label control, we're going to have to change some of its properties just to start. Okay. So okay. So let's start by changing its auto size property, which resizes the control to just only fit the text in it, to false. Let's change the name of it to LBL result. Yeah, cool. And then let's make our three buttons. Let's come up a West Coast. So we do California. Okay, so button one, let's make California. So we can name it BTNCA. And its text can be California. The middle button, let's pick Oregon. Okay, cool. So Oregon for the text, and then BTN. What should its name be? BTN OR. And how about an East Coast state for button three? South Carolina. Okay, cool. So button three, let's go ahead and let's name it BTNSC. And let's change its text property to South Carolina. And I'll just make them a little bigger so that the text can fit. And we changed its auto size to false. So that's why it's like kind of really big right now. But let's make it even bigger. Let's go ahead and drag it even farther to the left and farther to the right. And the reason is it's not an extremely good reason, but I want to show everyone that we can change the properties of a control in our code. So label one, let's check out. We already changed its auto size property to false. But it's got a bunch of other properties. So what we could do is we could change its text property to, we could just make it empty, or we could put, okay, empty is good. Empty is good. So we could just make its text property empty. Kind of interesting. The label's still there, but it just has no text. LBL result, which we can see in the properties window up here. Labels have another property, which is text align. And so the text align property, it's set to top. Change the text to be in the center or up top or in the upper right or in the lower middle. So there's top left, there's middle left, top center, top right, middle right, bottom left, bottom center, on bottom right. Nice. So how about when we button the text in LBL result changes to say California? So one thing, it doesn't matter, but we could change the form 1, its text property to be state abbreviations again, just because it kind of looks a little bad, form 1, so state abbreviations is a little better. And for the California button, so let's implement it. So we double click it and we type in the instructions for when that button's clicked in the program. So what property do we want to change and what do we want to change it to? Yeah, the text property, awesome. Of what? Of the button? Of the label, yeah. So we called it LBL result, awesome, and we're changing its text property, so LBL result.text equals, and then in quotes, if they click California, we want to display CA, yeah, So here's the text property, and we're changing the text property of, we're setting it equal to CA. We could do the same for the other 2 buttons. If someone clicks the Oregon button, let's change the text of LBL result to OR. And that's just a matter of double-clicking the Oregon button and typing in our instruction here. LBL result.text equals, well, in this case, not California, not CA again, but OR. Double-click, last but not least, South Carolina, and then change its, change what it does, result to SC. Oh, it's not only the text property of a control that we can change. Do you remember the text align property? Okay, so when we display California, we can change the text align property of LBL result, and see it's kind of popping up here just as a suggestion. Text align. We can change it to any to us, and so remember they were called like bottom center, bottom left. Here they're kind of, they have a little extra stuff to them, but for California, how about we align that text to the middle left? For no good reason other than just to show everyone that the other properties than text can change in the code. So text align can change in the code. And here's our statement to do that. Sorry, let's get it over here. So now our California button is going to change the text of LBL result, but it's also going to change the. Okay, let's do the same. Let's, for Oregon, let's make it align on the left again, maybe. I was thinking like East Coast, West Coast states, so then the East Coast states could align on the right, just to give us, just, let's go back. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, okay. So make the abbreviations align under each state button. So for Oregon, what should we change the text align to? Middle center, yeah. And I'm just going to start typing middle center, and it'll pull out to alignment on middle center. And then for South Carolina, should we put it on the right? So what should we add here? Awesome. Equals, and I'll just start typing middle right, and then that'll pull up the option there. And now the fun part. So let's go ahead and run this and see if those properties do get updated based on our button clicks. So California, CA looks like it's on the left. And remember, our label is like it's huge, even though Oregon and South Carolina is on the right. Cool. So now we've seen that we can change the text properties of labels as well as other properties like their text align property. Oh yeah. Oh, good question. Is there an online database to find the source for Visual Basic? Well, there is some example code from our book, and I could post that in Blackboard. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably the easiest way. I've heard, yeah, the examples work well. So yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Any other questions? Makes sense. Cool. Okay.